I'm going to show you the first match of WCS Leipzig 2018 finals, Serral versus Showtime on NeonVioletSquare. This time I'm going to show you the game from Showtime's player camera perspective. That is a 2018 WCS Leipzig, a very important tournament in Starcraft 2, video game professional gaming. And here we see that it was a big deal to go into the brackets. These players played in person against each other. So no spying, no cheating has happened. And these were the brackets. This is the game I'm showing you, the very final. Showtime versus Serral. It's the first match on the map called NeonVioletSquare, as I mentioned before. And this tournament, 2018 Leipzig, is one of the main events for StarCraft World Championship Series. You can see it right here. It belongs to WCS circuit events right here, and the winner is Serral right here. Furthermore, if you wish to see more games or StarCraft 2 and other video game play, you can go to AndYouLeftTheGame YouTube channel. You can find this channel by typing AndYouLeftTheGame to YouTube search bar, and you have to click on either AndYouLeftTheGame YouTube channel without blank space, it looks like that, or to AndYouLeftTheGame YouTube channel with a blank space. This is another channel of mine, and with this channel I'm redirecting you to the one without blank space. You can either go to the link provided or on the featured channels. Here you'll end up in the channel itself, and then you can have to click on playlist and choose whatever game or castings you want to watch. Furthermore, there are many social media channels that you can follow and subscribe. Furthermore, now that you know where to find these games, you have to learn more about the players themselves. So these are the two finalists. The first one is Showtime. He's the German player. Showtime feels the most comfortable in straight macro games, and some of these games that are in the file were straight macro games. So what's that all about? This is when the players are very much skipping the super early game cheese play, or very early mid game, early game maybe entirely, and moving on to something like the first battle begins with a cap of 180 or even 200 supply straight off the bat right there. And normal players by then have at least 3 bases, most likely 4 bases, an army, and then they start to play. So this is a sort of a full macro game, right? And here you can read more about him, and you can stop the video to read this through. Furthermore, you can take a look at his achievements and learn more about other tournaments out there that you can watch or go to, or even try your luck and play it yourself. I'm not sure about eligibility requirements to try and qualify for any of these tournaments. However, as far as I know, the qualification for this is offline, so you actually have to go to the event and try your luck there. And that's it for Showtime. Then we move on to Serral. Serral is a Finnish player. As you can see, he has been playing from Wings of Liberty. He made a lot of money, more than $130,000 playing this game. Here you can find out more information about him, his trivias, and about his achievements. Where did he got his winnings from? So as you can see, StarCraft 2 pays very well for the players that will give everybody a challenge and enjoy the game. We'll let them enjoy the game by watching that gameplay. Here how Serral looks like. After that, we will go on and take a look at the odds. So the odds on Pinnacle for this match, or let's say series of matches, so pretty much who becomes the winner, is a 1.67 for Serral and 2.23 for Showtime. I'm sure that there would be other betting statistics for maps individually, however I'm not sure if that's available. And you already realized that bookies are certainly making odds only for serious competitions out there. So as you may already know, video gaming is a serious sport nowadays, and millions of dollars are in prize money, and thousands upon thousands of viewers come in and watch the games live. So now that we have learned more about the two players, the YouTube channel and the championship, together with the odds for the match, let's go on to the match itself and watch it from Showtime's perspective. Let's find out how did he play this game and what happened here. So it looks like, first of all, he is queuing up all the bases out there on the naturals in the left side. So Showtime will be opening his bases. All will try to expand solely to the south. He won't be expanding to the east at all, and that's his choice. It looks like he puts a pylon on number 6, a Nexus on number 4, and his probe on number 3. He starts this game by opening himself a gateway, and an early gas geyser. He continuously goes through his hotkeyed locations, probably tries to find the perfect spot for these locations to be set up, and we're moving into super early game. That's a probe here to check out if Serral is going for cheese play. So if there's no second base, for example, a spawning pool soon to finish, like 3 overlords, that would give Serral 30 supply and non-stop link production, then Protoss player Showtime may as well decide to go for some kind of a cheese play, or units that would help him protect, for example photon cannon wall, photon cannons deployed strategically around mineral lines, anything that would stop that link aggression. Now the best way so far to stop the link aggression is by simply walling yourself off and having a couple of range units that would shoot the links that try to break through your wall off, or you could just build a photon cannon strategically in this case. Besides that, if the wall off is not good enough, the Zerg player may try and do a drop into your main base, and obviously then you just have to have enough forces to deter this aggression, because if, for example, 12 links would be dropped into Showtime's main base and they would run onto all those probes, they would do an incredible damage and would probably massacre the probes in a matter of seconds, probably 10 seconds, and most of the probes would be dead. Probably less, but you get what I mean. It would be devastating. I've did these kind of draws before, and the more links I have, the worse it is for my opponent. And opponents normally are focused on defending their entries, not mineral lines themselves. In any case, it looks like Serral is scouting through. He wants to know if Showtime is going for some kind of a cheese play, but Showtime will move on to an Oracle play here and build himself a Phoenix to hunt down those Overlords, and an Oracle to attack into the mineral lines and try to kill a lot of workers. So we see how he's microing his Oracle, and Oracle already killed quite a few units there. However, unfortunately, the Oracle was not able to do enough damage because it was attacked by the Spore Crawler anti-aircraft building and the Queen, and that was just too much damage for the Oracle to take. In any case, it looks like Serral Ling attack here just wasn't enough, and the Serral decided not to commit. However, he probably had to because there were no troops there. In any case, the Queen was already waiting here for another Oracle attack. You see, these Oracle attacks can kill off maybe 5 drones, 4 drones, and if these are continuous, even the Spore Crawler won't be good enough with the Queen, because then a single Oracle every couple of minutes would be taking away 3-4 drones and regenerating its shield damage. So then the Zerg player is forced to either build more static defense, or he is forced to leave units there, build additional Queens, invest resources, and take away troops to defend against this harassment. Now in here, Showtime decides to create 2 very powerful units, Archons, that have incredible shield defense, and will be moving in here. So these Archons expect to kill off all the links out there. However, little did Showtime knew that 3 Queens and Hydralisks will be waiting for them here. Now it looks like, you see, Archons can kill off these Queens with these. However, additional Hydralisk will be too much to handle. Now, as we both know, this is a sort of a cheesy play. Why? Because it's very early on, and these kind of drops, they weren't inside of the mineral lines, right? These 2 Archons attacked the opponent straight ahead, and Showtime thought that he can do incredible damage to the opponent just by fighting with these 2 Archons. Now obviously Hydralisk will be a very good counter against the Archons, and this cheese play will end right there. Now, as we both can see, this is a sort of a macro style play, so none of serious engagements taken place. Serral tested Showtime's entries with a batch of links. Showtime tried to cheese Serral with a couple of Archons in the base. You see what he was expecting there. Using those Archons, kill the Queens, kill the links, and then just attack the drones, or if the drones are away, probably move inside of Serral's base and kill even more units. So it can certainly pay off. However, Serral was ready. Now this is where the game starts. 4 bases are nearly ready. Many minerals have been already mined, and serious engagements have started. Now, as you can see, the Protoss is making a little bit less. However, the Zerg has 17 more drones than Protoss had probes at that time. Protoss army relies heavily on High Templar, and Zerg forces are just a little bit more expensive by 1,100 resources. As you can see, quite a few upgrades have already been done. Surprisingly, the Zerg doesn't have to build too many buildings. That's the way the Zerg is designed. However, Zerg has overlords who are very, very vulnerable. Now, it seems that there is a lot of movement but not that much action. Both of these players have decided to play a very economy intensive game, and only now the first serious battle begins. However, one storm has successfully fought off this invasion because Serral didn't want to lose all those Zerglings who would fall in seconds when in storm. Now, Showtime has tagged Serral's links and will be able to see their movement consistently. As you can see on the map, he can see tagged units, so he knows where the opponent's army is at all times. Now, the drop has been spotted very, very successfully. It looks like Showtime was separating its forces here, and this obviously is played to be disastrous for Serral there, because he couldn't commit onto this drop. And as you can see consistently, Serral is trying to attack the opponent on two spots at the same time. Showtime has split its army in two sides too, so Showtime is expecting drops, is expecting this kind of an aggressive play. Now, if only Showtime would have a few more airplanes, he would be able to take out all those overlords that become transport units. And that's it. Now it looks like the Protoss player is drawn away by all those lurkers. It certainly needs all that detection. As you can see now, in Showtime's hotkeys here, he has hotkeyed most of his forces. Number 2, he has his casters, that's High Templar. Number 1, his nexuses, and maybe some additional buildings such as Forge and Cybernetics Core on number 6. With a set of keys, he can, by selecting number 4, build the upgrades on Forge and Cybernetics Core. Then he has all his gateways here on 6 and War Prism on number 7. Furthermore, on number 9 he has Phoenix, and in this key close to number 1 that would normally open a console, he has number 0 change 4, so he has one additional key available in his keyboard close to the numbers. Obviously that gives him more space to queue up an additional group. And we are moving a little bit forward here. Alright, that's another engagement. It looks like the lurker has died. Many massive losses have taken place here. Let's take a look at this battle just one more time and see how things went there. Okay, I'm going to slow this down a little bit. So there are many links here, as you can see, hell of a lot of links, and these will be killed off by continuous storms. However, these storms won't be that good against Hydralisk because they have been spread out a little bit too much. However, he's targeting units like lurkers very effectively here. In any case, it looks like the Protoss player Showtime has been defeated in that battle, and Serral is on the offensive. It looks like the last Archon is about to die, so Serral lost there his entire force. The mothership is on its way, and he mostly relies on a force consisting of zealots. And as you can see in the top right corner, Showtime is sending a force to take out drones, a base, or queens, or a set of leftover units in Serral's 5th base out there. 3rd, 5th base. Now Serral has managed to successfully deal with this. As you can see, Serral relies very heavily on lurkers. There were many lurkers there, and Showtime is certainly lacking the army to deal with that. Obviously here he just doesn't have enough troops. Furthermore, in the top right corner, Serral is going to suffer from another attack from Showtime's zealot push into his northern bases. And in here we're going to see how zealots fight cheap and expendable Zerglings. Furthermore, it seems that Showtime has never sent reinforcements to fight into his main base. It looks like those carriers were already there, and supported by a mothership, this will help tremendously to fight. And it seems that actually Serral wasn't doing that much damage as I expected he did when I was watching Serral's player camera. Furthermore, as commonly in this matches Serral versus Showtime, Serral is the aggressor, and he attacks the opponent on two sides, and mostly by on one side doing a drop, on another side sending in an army. Obviously that's not always the case. However, surprisingly for me, Showtime has successfully defended in the south with all those zealots. He has many observers here, so the lurkers would have a very difficult time defending against that. Another harassment efforts are being done by Showtime into the northern base of Serral's. And obviously this time there's going to be a lot of damage done, so let's see what Showtime does. It looks like Showtime decides to send 3 zealots to chase down the drones, and the remaining zealots will be there to take out the hive itself. However, if not for those 3 zealots sacrificed there to chase the drones, this hive would have fallen. However, this time the hive will certainly survive and will be left with just a few bars of health, maybe even 1 bar of health. Here we have Showtime recovering and changing his composition here. He moves in for carrier play, a mothership, and Serral in the other hand will try to have many corruptors. That's a very powerful anti-air unit, and he will try to snipe away enemies out of Showtime's carriers. Here we see that he has a powerful ground force, and this powerful ground force mostly consists of extremely tanky Archons, very good melee units. That's the Zealot. I would say that he relies many on them, mostly on them because they are relatively cheap compared to whatever else Protoss can deploy. And he relies on extremely high number of Templar units, and these currently 4 are going to launch storms continuously, and as you can see here, there are more High Templar warped in. However, these are going to create Archons, and because Zerg has no way of getting rid of those shields, it will actually have to fight. As you've seen just a few seconds ago, the Protoss was fighting away Serral's changelings that were sent in to spy on enemy's base. In here it seems that Corruptors have been caught. Now it's very important for Corruptors not to be destroyed by the ground units, because Corruptors cannot attack the ground units, and in this case they just didn't do enough damage to all those carriers here. Here it seems that Showtime has moved into all that hail of fire from beneath, and successfully catches all those infestors. So that was a force consisting mostly of lurkers and infestors. However, it seems that Serral just wasn't able to do much about it and decided to retreat the infestors. They weren't able to attack with all that fungal growth. You see, infestor has to actually move relatively close to use the fungal growth, and it just didn't work out that well this time. In any case, the battle continues, and Showtime decides to push out further on and fight on further. In here, many lings have been destroyed by the storms. Massive number of lings have died due to the storms. And Nexus is being sniped by all of those Corruptors. Here the Corruptors will suffer damage from the Archons. Archons can attack air units extremely effectively. And the battle continues. It looks like the Showtime will decide to rebuild his Nexus here. However, Serral is going to launch in an attack based on Lurkers, Hydralisks, Corruptors, and Infestors. At this point right here, Showtime decides that he cannot win this. His supply is down pretty heavily. His minerals here have been nearly completely mined out, and if not for the final base here on this patch, Showtime just would not be able to proceed, while at the same time Serral was having many bases and was mining very successfully, and this army right here was able to win the game for Serral. So that was match 1 of the finals from Showtime's perspective.